A lot of questions have been coming out recently about wrapped staked Klima. What is it? What's its implications? Why would I use it? Why would I go through the process of wrapping my beautiful staked Klima? You know, what's the purpose of this contraption? Why do we keep putting letters in front of Klima, right? First it was Klima, then it was staked Klima, then it was I'm going to leverage myself into the dirt Klima, and now it's wrapped staked Klima. When are we, sooner or later we're going to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, S, Klima. JK. To be determined. So here's the deal. The really cool thing about Klima is that it rebases, or the compound interest happens frequently. So every 8 hours, approximately, your staked Klima gets compounding interest applied to it. This is referred to as rebasing because then it's re-staked automatically. This is really fun because every 8 hours the community gets to gather around Discord general chat or wherever you are in the Klima Discord, and we get to post really silly memes and say things like, I'm rebasing. But one of the not so cool things about this is that there are certain tax implications to rebasing. There are certain jurisdictions, and you have to check with the tax professional, that require you to account for all rebases. So certain jurisdictions say that a rebase is a taxable event, meaning you have to account for and pay taxes on all rebases. So if you held Klima for a year, 3 rebases a day times 365 day, over 1,000 rebases. This would be an insane amount of taxable events to account for, and you'd be paying taxes on all of them. Hey, I don't know about you. You might like paying taxes, and this might get you jazzed. I'm not particularly jazzed about this. So, and other members of the DAO are not as well. So there's something called wrapped staked Klima. And this is a solution to that tax problem. So before we get into wrapped staked Klima, we have to talk about an index. If you go to the DApp, I'll pull it up on my screen right now. The current index is displayed. It's approximately 1.88. We'll just write that down. So right now it's like 1.88. So what an index displays is, let's assume you staked 1 Klima at the beginning of staking. At the very beginning of staking. If you had done this, you would now have 1.88 staked Klima. So the index is taking account of all compounding interest thus far on a theoretical 1 staked Klima that was staked at the beginning of staking. So one wrapped staked Klima is equal to 1 index. So here's how you would go calculate, or here's the calculation for figuring out staked Klima to wrapped staked Klima. Let's use easy numbers. The index is 2. And let's say you have 0.5 staked Klima that you want to wrap. You would take your amount and you would divide by the index. 0.5 divided by 2 is 0.25 wrapped staked Klima. Now, this is beneficial from a tax perspective because the wrapped staked Klima, you'll always have 0.25. It will not rebase, but the index keeps track of all the rebases. It grows with each rebase. So, let's say we started with an index of 2 in the previous example, but over time, through compound interest, the new index is now 4. We would still have 0.25 wrapped staked Klima, and when we unwrapped, we would multiply that 0.25 by the current index, and we would end up with 1 unwrapped staked Klima. So you can see that our Klima, our wrapped staked Klima, by being pegged to an index, and the index accounting for all the rebases allows us to keep up with compounding interest without applying each rebase to the wrapped staked Klima. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the benefit of the rebasings without having to have the tax implications of all the rebases. So one way you could calculate, if you didn't have this automated, the value of your wrapped staked Klima is to multiply amount of wrapped staked Klima times the current index times the value of one Klima. All right. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I will reiterate this. It's the most important part of this entire video. Check with a tax professional regarding your tax codes and make sure you are in compliance with all relevant tax code. Never accept tax advice or financial advice from anyone who isn't licensed, including myself, anybody in Discord, anybody on the internet. They will tell you all sorts of things. You are responsible for your tax compliance. But this might be a solution if you're vulnerable or live in a jurisdiction that requires you to account for all rebases. All right. Take care, guys, and Klima on. Suck that carbon up, baby. Let's go.